Alright, hey guys, Ferret here, back again with another episode of High School Romance Magi Trials. So, back right into it. We're now a girl, which is so typical. I should have seen that coming a mile away. But anyway, let's go ahead and see how this goes. The room is empty and dark. Am I in the right place? I step inside, staring across the expanse of the stadium. The darkness is still unnaturally bright for how few torches line the walls. Where my sight should fail and fade into darkness, I can see clear across the room. I wonder if this is where Sean? I don't know what their face looks like yet. I spin around on my heel. I figure a figure of a woman darkens the doorway, silhouetted by the halo of light at her back. She steps closer, long, confident strides, bringing her into view. I catch myself staring before I remember to bow. Who is she? I almost forgot my manners, hastily coming up with something to say. Thank you for meeting with me. The words come out as a mumble as I try to keep my voice deep and pray she doesn't ask too many questions. She returns the bow. Oh boy. Voice time. Let's just try and keep this one simple. Maybe slightly girlish, but simple. I am Magi Megan Shira. Shira? We'll go with that. A representative and teacher at this academy. I will be the one conducting your trial of initiation. A bead of sweat rolls down the back of my neck. I try to look as if I know exactly what that is, as if I've prepared for it my whole life. And didn't just try to take some magic lessons from a crazy old mage who wandered through the town and smelled a little of mold. The trial is a trial by combat. I will warn you not to underestimate me simply because I am a woman. You wouldn't be the first to make that mistake. Do I not look nervous enough for her liking? Does she want me to pee my pants? Your objective isn't to defeat me. What sort of magi? I want to say Magi because I conditioned my mind to do it because I got people that would scream at me for not doing it with the manga, but I'm assuming it's just Magi. What sort of Magi would I be if that could happen? She smiles, the first human-like expression she's made since walking into the room, but her voice remains stiff. It's like she's speaking out of a manual. Then I realize how many times she's probably given these same instructions. But you will be expected to defend yourself. Though it's not your objective, you are allowed to attack. Any hits you manage to land against me will be taken into consideration in your favor. I wouldn't hold it against you. If anything, I'd be very impressed. Do you have any questions? My thoughts are blank, empty. Even if I had questions, I wouldn't know what they were. I shake my head. Very well, then, shall we begin? Oh man, it's tripping me up every time now. The Magi steps further into the room. She moves delicately. It's delicately, each measured step taking her in a small semicircle around me. I'm like her prey. I summon my will and my power into my hands, feeling the hot energy crackle between my fingertips. Simple defense stuff, that's all I have to do. She stares me down, her face remarkably impassive, yet intent gleams in her eyes. I dig my heels into the ground, preparing myself for what's to come. The lightning, quick motions of her hand, summoning a blast of power with remarkable speed. Interesting. We already have our first option. Do we want to dodge or defend? I feel like defend. Like if we're trying to show our magical prowess, we're going to want to defend this. I would think, but I'm just going to go with defend. I tried to throw together a quick defensive spell as the light blinds me. I don't even get it fully summoned. The spell hits me squarely in the chest, full force. It knocks my breath right out of my lungs and my feet leave the ground, sending me spinning. Ow. So that didn't work. My head throbs lamely. A gentle hand touches my shoulder, rousing me up from my crumpled state on the hard ground. Maybe I was a little overzealous. When I open my eyes, my chin is tilted up towards my chest, giving me a clear view of the ripped outer jacket and shirt, revealing far too much. Oh no! I jolt awake, my hand scrambling to cover myself. Are you alright? I'm fine. That's a relief. For a moment, I thought I may have caused you serious injury. Here. With kinder motions than I would have expected from her, she guides me up into a sitting position. I'm glad you're unharmed. So the only question remains is, who are you? What? I was told I would be testing a young man named Sean, who wished to become an... I was like, stop speaking initiative here. So, who are you? I am Sean. She peers at me closely, some of that strict, authoritarian gleam entering her eyes again. I will give you one chance to recant that. But it's true, I have to tell her. She's not going to believe me otherwise. If I haven't already turned my chances, that certainly will. I take a steady breath. I really am Sean, Magi, but this isn't how I actually look. I was trying to utilize a spell when it must have backfired, and I gesture helplessly at myself. Yeah. Her eyes never lose their investigative gleam, picking over me until I'm starting to get red in the face. And when did you conduct this spell? Last night. A thin eyebrow arches in the direction, spreading skepticism across her face. And what was the intention of this spell? She already knows, doesn't she? At this point, I think I might be on the verge of getting arrested rather than admitted. My voice diminishes in my throat. Sound extra pathetic with its new pitch. I first learned magic from a traveling mage, ma'am. He said I showed promise. He said I could pursue that here. I thought there was no way I could match up to the city mages who had grown up around this sort of magic, who had learned it all their lives. So I tried to magnify my own power with the help of books. And what books would have shown you this? A terse sigh leaves her lips, which have pursed into a thinner and thinner line throughout my explanation. It doesn't matter. However, you laid eyes on such a spell is irrelevant. It's just as illegal that you performed it. Illegal? Yes, only those who have passed the trial of sorcery may practice such a spell. Even I couldn't do so legally, much less one who has never even gained entrance into the academy. That magic is meant for sorcerers, only the most elite of magic users. Do you understand what this means? That I'm going to prison? To my surprise, her eyes soften, and, if I'm not mistaken, she almost laughs. Though conventional, that seems a bit extreme, I would think. It means that only 5 people alive at this very moment may legally perform that spell. Which do you think those are? Because people running around accidentally changing genders all the time would get confusing? She opens her mouth and then closes it again, blinking at me. I wish I could learn that skill. Just close my damn mouth for once? But it's not my fault. I bladder too when I'm nervous. Everyone does it. When I'm nervous. Well, I suppose you're right. But it's also because that spell is dangerous. You must indeed be talented if you survived it after all. Most would not. Though you're still foolish in the ways of magic, if you thought counseling such a spell the eve before this trial was wise, you not only had this unfortunate side effect, but you must have surely exhausted yourself. Controlling that amount of magic and preventing it from tearing you apart despite the lack of formal training. She shakes her head, and though she isn't a woman who looks easily bewildered, I tend to have that effect on people. It is impressive. Stupid. Very, very stupid. But impressive. Oh, I don't think I was doing anything particularly risky at the time. If anything, I thought it was kind of clever. Ugh, how embarrassing. I nearly got myself killed before I even made it to my trial. Here. She helps me to my feet. I'll keep your secret. Ambition is a prerequisite for the path you've chosen. I'm sure you know that. I can't fault you for having it, but you did not pass the test, as I'm sure you've realized. My jaw twitches at the observation, fighting down the urge to plague and bead. To plague and bead. Wow. I can speak words. Defending yourself is a fundamental part of practicing magic, even as an initiate in the academy. It is not a light study or a hobby. It is a practice that will take your life if you're not prepared. Though we do what we can, there will always be those who are wounded or even killed in the Magi Wars. The Academy's test for the graduation? She nods. Those who pass become Magi, and the strongest of those ambitious may then take the trial of sorcerers. Is that something you have your sights set on? I nod reluctantly, now that the dream has already been scratched from my grip. We've lost many brilliant students to that trial. No one has survived it in 18 years. It's claimed each one. Well, maybe you need a different trial. She scoffs, but nods. It does seem a reasonable solution, doesn't it? But the sorcerer's trial is a test of ability that a sorcerer must be able to call upon at any moment. 5 live now, guarding the border of our kingdom. We only have peace because they do not. They must be the best of the best. We can't afford anything less. It's not a test we put just because anyone through. We must have hope that they can truly pass it. And I didn't even make the cut to be an initiate. I can't. Why do I keep saying that word wrong? Anyway, much less a sorcerer. She hesitates for a moment, and then, in a gesture that takes me by surprise, she rests a hand on my shoulder. It's not a great comfort, but I see a brief flicker of sympathy in her eyes. I have to keep myself composed. I can't lose it in front of her. I hold it together, Sean. It was a stupid test anyway. I clear my throat as best I can, swallowing down bitter disappointment and childhood dreams along with it. I guess I'm now officially a drama queen. After all, haha, I see what you did, liar. Speaking of, what about I make a vague gesture to the self that's not myself? That is far more a complex problem. We may yet find a solution for it, but any immediate counter spells would likely be reserved for sorcerers. It would take an equally strong magic to reverse the damage outright. My stomach sinks. How did this day fall apart so quickly? I broke the law. I turned myself into a girl, and the worst part of it all, I didn't even pass the exam. It was the reason for it, after all. And if this was the price I had to pay to get it, I even would have paid it. Feeling an embarrassing well of emotion starting to rise up in me, I bow hesitantly. I have to get out of here before I make this even worse. I see. Shut up, iPad! Thank you for seeing me, Magi, Shira, Magi. Ugh! I feel her eyes on my back as I leave, grabbing my bag from beside the door on my way out. I can't believe this. I really didn't make it. How do I even get back home? What do I even do when I get home? My whole life had revolved around this. Not to mention, last time I was there, I wasn't a girl. I'm so preoccupied with my failure that that little problem keeps slipping my mind. Most people would probably be concerned with that first and foremost, but this was everything to me. We're gonna stop there, I think. So that seems like a good spot. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I've been Ferret, and I'll see you back on the prowl next time.